My name is Lily Sinclair, and I'm 29 years old. The kind of age where you start questioning everything: who you are, what you've become, and what it all means. On the surface, I have a comfortable life. I work as a freelance photographer, traveling when I can, making my own way through the chaos of a world that doesn't stop spinning. My family has always been a complicated mix of emotions, expectations, and just enough dysfunction to keep things interesting. I never expected to be the center of a family war. I didn't even know how deep the lies ran until the moment I received the message. "Lily, you've been excluded from the will reading," it said. The words didn't make sense at first, like a riddle I couldn't crack. Why would I be excluded? I had never asked for anything. My relationship with my grandmother, June Sinclair, had always been about something deeper than material wealth. We spent summers together at her sprawling house, her lavender-scented garden a sanctuary for both of us. Grandma June was the one person who had seen me for who I really was: broken, but still trying to heal, still trying to figure out what it meant to be truly free. But that was before the distance grew, before life got busy, before the secrets began to creep into our family like an unwelcome guest. The phone buzzed again, and my cousin Heather's name flashed on the screen. She was the one who had sent the message, no doubt. My mind raced. Why now? Why was she suddenly reaching out after months of silence? The last I heard, Heather was too busy playing the perfect daughter in our family's eyes. The kind of daughter who always seemed to have everything figured out, her life a neat package tied with a bow. The kind of daughter who had inherited the family's business, while I had made my own path, far from the money and expectations. There was something in Heather's tone that hinted at trouble, at something much darker than I was prepared for. I felt my stomach knot up, not just from the shock, but from the old, familiar feeling of being left out, forgotten in the shuffle of wealth and power that I had never wanted to be part of. If you've ever felt betrayed by family, or had your life turned upside down by unexpected secrets, leave a comment below. Let me know how you would react in Lily's shoes. And if you want to follow this emotional journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. I had barely opened the door to my apartment when my phone buzzed again. This time it was my uncle, Thomas, the one who always held his wealth over the rest of us like a badge. His words were sharp, the tension seeping through the text. "You don't belong here today, Lily. Stay out of it, stay out of it." It should have been a simple message, just words, but they hit me like a slap. Was this really happening? Was my family, the people who had once shared laughter and love around Grandma June's kitchen table, now pushing me to the side? This wasn't about inheritance. I knew that much. It wasn't about the money or the property that had been passed down through generations. No, it was about control. And now I was caught in the middle of a storm that had been brewing beneath the surface for years. The scene outside my apartment was calm, almost too calm. The soft hum of the city, the sound of people going about their day, walking, talking, living as if the world weren't collapsing inside my own family. As I stared out the window, my thoughts went back to Grandma's house. I could still see the overgrown ivy creeping up the brick walls, the scent of jasmine hanging in the air, the place where we had made memories that I thought could never be tainted. But that was before Grandma passed, before the will came into question, before I discovered that everything was changing. I had hoped her passing would bring peace, closure, a chance to finally make amends with the family that had always been at odds. But instead, it's only brought chaos. I didn't want to believe that the people who were supposed to love me would do something like this. But here I am, standing at the edge of a family tragedy, with secrets about to be unveiled. And if there's one thing I know, it's that some secrets can destroy everything. I wasn't invited to the reading, and now I need to figure out why. The silence in the conference room is suffocating. I can feel the weight of their eyes on me, but it's not just the others in the room. It's the past, my past. The ghosts of my childhood, the memories of my grandmother's house, the house that now lies at the heart of this battle. I've always tried to keep my past locked away in a box, far from the chaos of my adult life. But today, it's like that box has been ripped open, spilling its contents all over the floor, leaving me no choice but to face everything I've tried to forget. Grandma's house was more than just a building. It was a sanctuary, a place where I could be myself. I can still remember the way the sun would filter through the stained glass windows in the morning, casting colorful patterns on the hardwood floors. The scent of lavender would hang in the air, a smell that still brings tears to my eyes when I close my eyes and breathe it in. It was her smell, her presence. Everything about that house had her touch. The garden she tended to with the same care she gave to her family, the cozy kitchen where we'd bake cookies together, the old rocking chair by the window where she'd sit and watch the world go by. But those memories feel distant now. They've been overshadowed by the greed and manipulation of the people I once called family. The people who have come to take what's not theirs, what should never have been theirs in the first place. As the lawyer begins reading the terms of Grandma's will, I feel a wave of nausea wash over me. The room is too quiet, too still, and it feels like the walls are closing in. I try to focus on the words being spoken, but my mind keeps drifting back to that house, to the way things used to be. I, Eleanor Sinclair, being of sound mind and body, hereby declare this to be my last will and testament. The formal language falls on deaf ears. My heart beats in my throat as I wait for the part that will change everything. The part that will reveal whether or not Grandma really left me what I think she did. The tension is unbearable. Everyone in the room is pretending to listen, pretending to care, but I know better. They're all waiting for their turn, for their piece of the pie. I bequeath my estate, including all real and personal property, to my granddaughter, Lily Sinclair. I hear the words clearly, but for a moment they don't register. The room seems to blur around me, the sound of my heartbeat drowning out everything else. My chest tightens. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect her to leave me everything. But she did. And now I have to face the consequences of that decision. The murmurs start almost immediately. Uncle Thomas shifts uncomfortably in his seat, his hand gripping the edge of the table as if he's trying to steady himself. Aunt Sarah's face hardens, and I see a flash of anger in her eyes. Jason looks away, pretending not to care, but I can see the way his jaw clenches. Heather, too, is visibly shaken, though she tries to hide it behind a thin smile. Lily, the lawyer continues, you are the sole beneficiary of your grandmother's estate. This includes the family home, the business, and all her personal belongings. I feel the room constrict. The weight of their stares is suffocating, their judgment heavy in the air. I want to speak, to defend myself, to explain that this wasn't my doing, that I didn't ask for this. But the words are stuck in my throat, and instead I sit there, frozen, as they all silently accuse me. What are we supposed to do now? Jason finally speaks, his voice bitter. This was supposed to be ours, all of ours. Grandma didn't want you to have it all. I want to snap back, to remind him that I didn't ask for any of this. But instead, I look at him, really look at him. And I realize something. He doesn't see me. He doesn't see what I lost. He only sees what he thinks he's entitled to. I turn my attention to Aunt Sarah. You're just going to take it, then? She sneers. You think you deserve all of this. I feel a sharp sting in my chest. The question isn't just about the house or the business. It's about everything I've worked for, everything I've built outside of this family's expectations. It's about me. It's about my right to exist, to be seen, to have my own place in this world without being overshadowed by their demands. But I don't respond. I can't. Because as much as I want to fight back, I know there's nothing I can say that will make them see me for who I am. They will always see me as the outsider, the one who never played by the rules. The lawyer clears his throat, bringing my focus back to the table. Perhaps it's best we proceed with the next steps, he says, trying to steer the conversation away from the growing animosity. But Heather doesn't back down. You really think you're ready for this, Lily? She spits, her words sharp. You think you can just step into Grandma's shoes and take over everything she worked for? You don't even understand the first thing about running a business. You're out of your depth. I feel the doubt creep in again, uninvited but persistent. Do I really understand? My stomach tightens, and for a moment I'm consumed by the weight of it all, the business, the responsibility, the family, the betrayal. I'm not ready for this. I've never been ready for this. But I can't let them see that. I can't let them see me falter, because if I do, they'll have one, and I won't let that happen. I don't have to be perfect to do this, I say, my voice growing more firm, more resolute. I don't have to have all the answers right now, but I'll find them. I'll figure it out, and I'll do it my way. The words feel like a declaration, a promise to myself more than anyone else in the room. And for the first time, I believe them. I may not have asked for this, I may not have wanted this, but I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. The phone call with Heather lingers in my mind as the evening drags on. Her words echo in my head, but I can't shake the feeling that something is slipping through my fingers. She talks about control, about legacy, but there's a part of me that doesn't believe her. I know her too well. She's the one who always played by the rules, the one who knew how to win with a smile. But there's a coldness to her now, something that makes me want to pull away. Something that says this fight is not one I should be part of. I spend the next few hours pacing around the apartment, trying to focus on anything but the phone buzzing every few minutes with new messages from Uncle Thomas, Aunt Sarah, and even my cousin Jason. Each one of them asking, pushing, wondering what my next move is. But none of them have the answers I need. None of them understand what's at stake here, and I'm starting to wonder if I even do. The more I think about it, the more the pieces fall into place. This isn't just about Grandma's estate. This is about the very fabric of the family that raised me. It's about the lies we've all told ourselves, the way we've hidden behind smiles and polite conversations, pretending everything is fine when all along it was falling apart. I find myself staring at the picture of Grandma on the mantelpiece, her warm, knowing smile, the way her eyes seemed to see through to the heart of things. The woman who taught me what really mattered, the woman who made me feel safe in a world that often didn't seem to care. The woman who, in her last years, had begun to speak the truth even when no one was listening. The memory of her words from our last conversation surfaces, unbidden, like a whisper in the dark. Don't let anyone take this from you, Lily. Not the love we shared, not the home you grew up in. Don't let the greed of this family tear you apart. Grandma knew. She had seen it all, the scheming, the backstabbing, the jealousy and ambition that ran beneath the surface of our family like poison. And still, she held on to something beautiful, something pure, something that none of them could understand. As the night deepens, I make my decision. I can't back down. I can't let this be about money or control. It's about something more, something deeper. It's about holding on to what she left behind, about preserving her memory in a world that's more concerned with who gets what than who we are. I grab my phone and send a message to Uncle Thomas, the one who's been pushing hardest for me to make a decision. I don't know if he'll listen, but I need to say it out loud to make it real. I'm coming to the reading tomorrow. Whatever happens, I won't be pushed aside anymore. This is my family, too. I'll be there to hear what Grandma wanted, and I'll fight for it no matter what. The message feels like a weight lifted off my chest. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but at least I've made a choice. The moment I send it, I feel something inside me settle. I'm no longer running from this fight. I'm facing it head-on, even if it costs me everything. The next morning, I wake early, the sunlight barely making it through the heavy curtains of my bedroom. I don't know what to wear. What do you wear to something like this? A family meeting that's about to turn into something much uglier than anyone expects. I settle on something simple, nothing flashy, nothing that would make them think I'm trying to make a statement. but I can't deny the nerves building up in my stomach as I get ready. The drive to the law office is long, and as I approach the building, I feel the weight of my decision bearing down on me. I know what they're going to say. I know they're going to accuse me of trying to take what's rightfully theirs, that I'm just like the rest of them. But I also know that if I don't show up, if I don't fight, I'll lose everything Grandma believed in. I'll lose the only thing I have left of her, the memory of who she was and the values she instilled in me. I step into the cold, sterile lobby of Harrison and Associates, the law firm handling Grandma's estate. The walls are lined with expensive-looking artwork, the furniture sleek and modern, everything polished to perfection. It's all so impersonal, so removed from the warmth of Grandma's home, that it feels like a mockery of everything I've been fighting for. When I walk into the conference room, the others are already there. Uncle Thomas sits at the head of the table, his face tight with impatience. Aunt Sarah is beside him, her arms crossed, her face etched with a mixture of annoyance and worry. Jason, my cousin, stands near the window, staring out as though he'd rather be anywhere but here. Heather's not here yet. And then there's Peter, sitting silently at the end of the table, his eyes dark and unreadable. I take my seat at the table, feeling their eyes on me. The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a knife. No one speaks. Not yet. But I can feel the weight of their expectations, their resentment, and their disbelief that I'm even here. This isn't just a legal proceeding. This is a battle for something far more precious than money. This is about power, and control, and love. I breathe deeply, trying to steady my nerves, but I can feel my heart racing in my chest. I know what they're all thinking. They think I'm here to claim what isn't mine. They think I'm here to take from them what they believe belongs to them by birthright. But they're wrong. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for something far more important. The truth, when Heather finally walks in, I catch her eyes. There's a flicker of something in her gaze, guilt, fear. But it's gone in an instant, replaced by the same polished mask she's worn all her life. "Lily," she says, her voice calm but strained. "I didn't think you'd come." "I told you I would," I reply, my voice steady. "I'm not backing down. This isn't just about the house, Heather. This is about Grandma." The lawyer enters the room just then, cutting off any further conversation. He's a middle-aged man with graying hair and a professional demeanor. His name is Mr. Harrison, and his presence immediately commands the room. He takes his seat at the head of the table and adjusts his glasses, looking around at all of us as if we're the ones about to make a scene. "Shall we begin?" he asks, his voice low and calm, as though he's seen this kind of drama 1,000 times before. And with that, the storm begins. The silence in the conference room is suffocating. I can feel the weight of their eyes on me, but it's not just the others in the room. It's the past, my past. The ghosts of my childhood, the memories of my grandmother's house, the house that now lies at the heart of this battle. I've always tried to keep my past locked away in a box, far from the chaos of my adult life. But today, it's like that box has been ripped open, spilling its contents all over the floor, leaving me no choice but to face everything I've tried to forget. Grandma's house was more than just a building. It was a sanctuary, a place where I could be myself. I can still remember the way the sun would filter through the stained glass windows in the morning, casting colorful patterns on the hardwood floors. The scent of lavender would hang in the air, a smell that still brings tears to my eyes when I close my eyes and breathe it in. It was her smell, her presence. Everything about that house had her touch. The garden she tended to with the same care she gave to her family, the cozy kitchen where we'd bake cookies together, the old rocking chair by the window where she'd sit and watch the world go by. But those memories feel distant now. They've been overshadowed by the greed and manipulation of the people I once called family. The people who have come to the murmurs start almost immediately. Uncle Thomas shifts uncomfortably in his seat, his hand gripping the edge of the table as if he's trying to steady himself. Aunt Sarah's face hardens, and I see a flash of anger in her eyes. Jason looks away, pretending not to care, but I can see the way his jaw clenches. Heather, too, is visibly shaken, though she tries to hide it behind a thin smile. "Lily," the lawyer continues, "you are the sole beneficiary of your grandmother's estate. This includes the family home, the business, and all her personal belongings." I feel the room constrict. The weight of their stares is suffocating, their judgment heavy in the air. I want to speak, to defend myself, to explain that this wasn't my doing, that I didn't ask for this. But the words are stuck in my throat, and instead I sit there, frozen, as they all silently accuse me. "What are we supposed to do now?" Jason finally speaks, his voice bitter. "This was supposed to be ours, all of ours. Grandma didn't want you to have it all." I want to snap back, to remind him that I didn't ask for any of this. But instead, I look at him, really look at him. And I realize something: he doesn't see me. He doesn't see what I lost. He only sees what he thinks he's entitled to. I turn my attention to Aunt Sarah. "You're just going to take it, then?" She sneers. "You think you deserve all of this?" I feel a sharp sting in my chest. The question isn't just about the house or the business. It's about everything I've worked for, everything I've built outside of this family's expectations. It's about me. It's about my right to exist, to be seen, to have my own place in this world without being overshadowed by their demands. But I don't respond. I can't. Because as much as I want to fight back, I know there's nothing I can say that will make them see me for who I am. They will always see me as the outsider, the one who never played by the rules. The lawyer clears his throat, bringing my focus back to the table. "There is one more matter to address," he says, his tone suddenly more serious. "Your grandmother's final wishes were not only about who should inherit her property. There is another part of her estate, something she wanted to pass on in a way that would protect it from outside influence." He pauses, letting the tension build before he continues. "Eleanor Sinclair made it clear in her will that Lily Sinclair will also inherit a portion of the family business. However, there are stipulations. She wanted Lily to be the sole decision-maker in the future of the business. No one else will have a say in how it's run." The shock that ripples through the room is almost tangible. I can hear the faint rustle of papers, the sound of their collective disbelief. This is more than just about property now. This is about power. Grandma knew exactly what she was doing. She knew that they would fight for control of the business, just as they fought for control of everything else. I try to hold my ground, but I can feel the weight of their resentment pressing down on me. I was never meant to lead. I was never meant to be the one in charge. But here I am, holding the keys to a legacy I don't fully understand, and it terrifies me. The silence that follows feels endless, the tension thick and oppressive. They can't believe what they've just heard. Neither can I, but then, slowly, a realization dawns on me. This isn't just a fight for property or for a business. This is a fight for identity. Grandma left me not just her possessions, but her trust. She left me the responsibility of preserving the things she valued most, the things none of them ever understood. And for the first time, I feel a spark of something I haven't felt in a long time: strength. I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing for sure. I'm not going to let them tear everything down just because they think it's theirs. The storm inside me rises, and I can feel the edge of something shifting. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's something else. But whatever it is, I know it's time to stop hiding. Time to step into the role Grandma left for me. And as the murmurs in the room start to swell, I realize something else too. I'm not the only one who's going to have to face the truth. This family is broken, and it's time for all of us to rebuild. The silence that follows the lawyer's announcement hangs in the air like a heavy fog. It feels like the room is closing in on me, every pair of eyes burning into the back of my skull. I can hear the sound of my breath, steady but shallow, as I try to process what's just been said. This isn't what I imagined. I never thought it would go this far. I thought, at most, Grandma would leave me something small. Maybe a few keepsakes, a piece of jewelry, a letter. But this feels like a dream I didn't ask for, one I never wanted to come true. The reality of it hits me like a slap in the face. I'm not just inheriting a house or a handful of family heirlooms. I'm inheriting everything. The house, the business, the responsibility of carrying on the legacy Grandma left behind. And worst of all, the power that comes with it. A power that I'm not sure I'm ready to wield. I never wanted power. I wanted freedom. I wanted peace. But now that all feels like a distant memory. I glance around the room, my gaze landing on each of them in turn. Uncle Thomas, Aunt Sarah, Jason, Heather. The people who have known me my whole life, who have watched me grow and change, who have been a part of the same family, but who have never really seen me. They don't see the person I've become. They see only what I represent, a threat, a wild card, an outsider who doesn't belong. Uncle Thomas is the first to break the silence. His voice is low, controlled, but I can hear the edge of anger in it. "This isn't right," he mutters, more to himself than anyone else. "This isn't what she would have wanted." I can feel the weight of his words press down on me, but I refuse to let them break me. It's not about what they want anymore. It's about what Grandma wanted. She made her choice clear, and I'm not going to let them make me doubt it. I won't let them twist her memory into something it was never meant to be. "Uncle Thomas," I say, my voice steady but quiet, "you don't get to decide what she wanted. She made her decision, and she left it for me to carry out. If you have a problem with that, take it up with her." He stares at me for a moment, as though weighing my words, but then he turns away, his jaw tight, his fingers tapping on the table nervously. I know he's not used to this, having someone challenge him. He's always been the one in control, the one who made the decisions, who held the power. But now, the power has shifted, and it feels like the whole room can sense it. Aunt Sarah's voice cuts through the tension. "Lily, this isn't just about the house," she says, her words clipped sharp. "This is about the business, the future of everything we've worked for." I don't know if I should be offended by her tone, or if I should feel pity for her. She's not talking about my future. She's talking about her own. She's talking about her place in the world, her legacy, and how this shift in the family dynamic is shaking everything she's ever known. I know what she's really saying without even needing to hear it. She's scared. She's afraid that, with me in charge, the things that have always given her power, the family name, the reputation, the business, are slipping away from her grasp. "I'm not here to ruin your life, Aunt Sarah," I reply, trying to keep my voice calm, though inside there's a growing storm. "But this isn't about your legacy anymore. It's about what Grandma wanted. And I'm not going to let you take that from me, from her." I can feel her eyes on me, but I don't back down. I'm done being afraid of them. I'm done pretending I don't belong here. This is my fight now. Jason shifts uncomfortably in his seat, his eyes flicking between Aunt Sarah and me. He hasn't said much, but I can see the confusion written across his face. He's always been the youngest, always been the one who's never quite known where he fits in. The one who tried to please everyone but ended up pleasing no one. "Is this really how we're going to do this?" he asks, his voice full of frustration. "We're just going to pretend everything's fine. Like Grandma didn't know what she was doing when she left all of this to you." There it is again, the question I've been dreading, the one that makes me second-guess everything. Did Grandma really know what she was doing? I want to say yes. I want to believe that she saw something in me, something that made her believe I could handle this responsibility. But deep down, I'm not so sure. I've spent most of my life avoiding the very things that have now been thrust into my hands. Power, responsibility, family expectations. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. And the more I think about it, the more the doubt creeps in. "I don't know what Grandma was thinking," I admit quietly, my voice catching. "But I do know one thing: she believed in me. She trusted me, and that's what matters." The words feel heavy, like a promise I'm not sure I can keep. But I have to say them. I have to remind myself that I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing it for her. The lawyer clears his throat, interrupting the moment. If there are no further objections, he says, we can proceed with the next step. There's an almost palpable shift in the room as everyone settles back into their seats, the weight of the decision still hanging in the air. I can feel their eyes on me, like they're waiting for me to crack. But I don't. I won't. We'll start with the business, the lawyer continues. Your grandmother made it very clear that she wanted you, Lily, to take over the leadership of the Sinclair Corporation. She believed you had the vision and the strength to carry it forward. The words hang in the air, and I swear I can feel them pressing down on me, suffocating me. The Sinclair Corporation. The business that has been the heart of this family for generations. The business that I never wanted. The business that now, somehow, is mine to carry. You're the sole decision-maker now, the lawyer says, his voice almost sympathetic. No one else has any claim to the company. It's all in your hands. My hands, it feels like the weight of the world is on them. I look down at my palms, but they're trembling. This isn't just a business. This is everything. This is the legacy of a family that I don't know if I'm ready to inherit. And yet, it's mine, whether I want it or not. The room falls into silence once more. The weight of the moment is almost unbearable. I know what comes next. The questions, the accusations, the pressure. But I also know this. I'm not just fighting for control of a business. I'm fighting for my own place in this world. For my right to decide what happens next, for the future, for my grandmother's legacy. I take a deep breath, steadying myself. I've got to do this. For her. For me. For everything we've lost and everything that's still at stake. The air in the room feels thick, almost suffocating, as if the tension is pressing against the walls, threatening to break through at any moment. I sit there, my hands clenched tightly on the table, every muscle in my body coiled with the pressure of what's to come. I can feel their eyes on me, their judgment heavy and unspoken. It's like they're waiting for me to falter, to make a mistake, so they can pounce. I've never been good with confrontation. I've spent my life trying to avoid conflict, preferring to step back and let others take charge. But now that option is gone. This isn't about stepping aside anymore. This is about standing firm, about fighting for something I never thought I'd have to. The lawyer's voice breaks through the thick silence, his next words cutting through the tension like a blade. Now that the terms of the will have been read, we can move forward with the distribution of assets. As per Mrs. Sinclair's wishes, Lily Sinclair will be the sole executor of the estate, and all business decisions related to Sinclair Corporation will be her responsibility. The room shifts again, everyone adjusting in their seats, the discomfort palpable. I catch the flicker of disbelief in their eyes, Aunt Sarah's clenched jaw, Uncle Thomas's narrowed eyes, and Jason's wide-eyed confusion. But it's Heather who catches my attention the most. She's sitting back now, arms crossed, her lips pressed into a thin line. The usual mask of calm is gone. I can see the anger simmering just beneath the surface. You're really going to let her do this? Heather finally speaks, her voice low but laced with venom. You're really going to let her take control of everything Grandma worked for, everything we built. I can feel the sting of her words, but I force myself to keep my composure. Everything we built. That's the key right there, isn't it? I'm not a part of their world. I never have been. I was always the outsider, the one who chose a different path. I never cared about the family business. I never cared about the money, the power, the prestige. But now I have no choice but to care. I'm not doing this to take anything from you, Heather, I reply, my voice steady, but carrying an edge I haven't used before. I'm doing this because Grandma wanted me to. She trusted me. You all may not understand why, but that's not my problem. Her eyes flash with anger, and she leans forward, her voice rising. You think you can just waltz in here and take everything. You think you can just play by your own rules, while the rest of us get left behind. The words hit me harder than I want to admit, but as much as they sting, I can't let them break me. They've always been like this, always wanting more, always thinking they deserve more, always scheming for their piece of the pie. But this time, I'm not backing down. This time, I won't let them push me out. This isn't about you, Heather, I say, my voice growing more firm, more resolute. This is about me, about what Grandma wanted for her legacy. And whether you like it or not, I'm the one who's going to carry it forward. I don't know where the strength is coming from, but it's there, rising up in me like something I've never felt before. I know what I have to do. I have to protect this. I have to protect her. The lawyer clears his throat again, sensing the rising tension in the room. Perhaps it's best we proceed with the next steps, he says, trying to steer the conversation away from the growing animosity. But Heather doesn't back down. You really think you're ready for this, Lily? She spits, her words sharp. You think you can just step into Grandma's shoes and take over everything she worked for? You don't even understand the first thing about running a business. You're out of your depth. I feel the doubt creep in again, uninvited but persistent. Do I really understand? My stomach tightens, and for a moment I'm consumed by the weight of it all, the business, the responsibility, the family, the betrayal. I'm not ready for this. I've never been ready for this. But I can't let them see that. I can't let them see me falter, because if I do, they'll have one, and I won't let that happen. I don't have to be perfect to do this, I say, my voice firm despite the doubt that still churns inside me. I don't have to have all the answers right now, but I'll find them. I'll figure it out, and I'll do it my way. The words feel like a declaration, a promise to myself more than anyone else in the room. And for the first time, I believe them. I may not have asked for this. I may not have wanted this. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. The lawyer nods, looking at me with something like approval, though I can't be sure. I suggest we schedule the next meeting to discuss the transition of the business and the division of other assets, if there are no further objections. There's a long pause. The room is tense, but I feel a shift in the atmosphere. This is it, the moment where everything changes, the moment I either rise or fall. I have one objection, Uncle Thomas says suddenly, his voice low but full of fury. This entire thing is a joke. You can't just hand over everything like it's a game. You've never cared about this family, and now you're going to ruin it all. His words sting, but I force myself to meet his eyes. I'm not here to ruin anything, but if I have to fight for what's right, I will. And if that means fighting against you, then so be it. The silence that follows is deafening. No one knows what to say. But deep down, I know that this is just the beginning. The beginning of a war I never asked for but am now fully immersed in. And I'm ready to fight it, even if it means losing everything I thought I knew about my family. I stand up, my chair scraping across the floor as I push it back. I'll see you at the next meeting, I say, my voice clear, determined. As I walk out of the room, I can hear the whispers start, low, angry murmurs between the others. I don't look back, I can't afford to. I know the battle has just begun, and I have no idea how it's going to end. But one thing is certain, I'm not going down without a fight. I should have known it would be like this. I should have known from the start. But nothing could have prepared me for the weight of it all. The family, the business, the legacy, everything that once seemed so distant, so far beyond my reach, is now crashing down on me like a tidal wave I never saw coming. I'm drowning in it, and I don't know how to stay afloat. The days after the will reading blur into one another. The lawyers send more papers, the phone calls don't stop, the emails pile up. Everyone's asking me to make decisions. Everyone's demanding my attention. They all want something, but none of them want to give anything. It's like they think I owe them for something, like I owe them a place at the table that I never asked. I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to tell her that I wasn't the one who dragged us into this mess, that she and everyone else had made me a pawn in a game I never asked to play. But instead, I stayed silent. I listened. And as much as I hated to admit it, there was truth in what she said. I wasn't prepared for this. I had no clue what I was doing. The pressure was starting to suffocate me. The next morning, I walked into the boardroom for my first official meeting as the CEO of Sinclair Corporation. The room was cold, the air thick with expectation. The directors, the investors, everyone who had once worked for my grandmother was now looking to me. To me, I didn't belong here. I wasn't one of them. I wasn't one of the corporate sharks who knew how to talk the talk and walk the walk. I was just a girl who had spent most of her life avoiding this, avoiding them. But here I was, and they were waiting. I take a seat at the head of the table, my heart pounding in my chest, my palms slick with sweat. I glance around the room, meeting the eyes of each person seated there, but none of them look at me the way I want them to. There's no respect in their eyes, no trust, just doubt. "So, Miss Sinclair," one of the directors says, breaking the silence, "now that you've taken your place, we assume you'll be guiding the direction of the company. What's your plan?" The words hang in the air like a challenge. The pressure in the room is palpable, suffocating. I swallow hard, trying to force the words past the lump in my throat. But they won't come. Not yet. I don't have a plan. I don't have a strategy. I don't even know how to begin. I start, but my voice cracks, and I feel my face flush with embarrassment. I take a deep breath. "Pull it together, Lily. They're waiting for you to fail. Don't give them the satisfaction." "I'm still evaluating," I manage, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "I'm new to this, but I intend to understand every aspect of the business before making any major decisions. I'll be meeting with each of you to get a sense of where we stand. I'm not rushing into anything." The words sound hollow, even to me. I can feel their eyes on me, calculating. They'll see through this. They'll see that I'm not one of them. But I keep my chin lifted, my eyes unwavering. If they're going to doubt me, fine. But they're not going to see me break. Not yet. The meeting goes on for what feels like hours. Every question they throw at me feels like a needle, poking and prodding, trying to find my weakness. They ask about projections, market strategies, the future of the company. I don't have the answers. I don't even know the questions. But I nod, I smile, I speak with confidence. I bluff my way through it, hoping they'll buy it, hoping they'll see something in me that I'm not sure is there. When the meeting finally ends, I feel drained, like I've just run a marathon. I step out of the room, my legs weak, my mind racing with doubt. What did I just do? I don't belong here. I'm not one of them. I'm not cut out for this. I walk down the hallway, barely noticing the people I pass, until I hear someone call my name. "Lily." I turn around. It's Jason, standing there with a hesitant look on his face. He hasn't said much to me since the will reading, and I can see the uncertainty in his eyes now. "You okay?" he asks, his voice softer than I expected. You looked a little shaken in there." I want to tell him I'm fine. I want to say that I've got it all under control, but instead I just shake my head. "I'm not okay," I admit, the weight of everything pressing on my chest. "I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not ready for this." Jason steps closer, his expression softening. "You don't have to do it alone, you know. We're family. We should be in this together." I want to believe him. I want to trust that things can get better, that I'm not alone in this. But something inside me knows the truth. There's no going back. I made this choice. I can't unmake it. And no one in this family, not even Jason, can save me from the path I've chosen. "I know," I whisper, "but it feels like I'm walking into an abyss, and I don't know how to climb out." Jason doesn't say anything for a long moment. He just stands there watching me, and I can feel the weight of his gaze. It's not pity, though. It's something else. Understanding, maybe. Or maybe it's just the recognition of something we both know deep down. We're in this together, but we're also alone in it. And for the first time, I wonder if I can survive this. I walk away without looking back, knowing that the next step I take will define everything. The days after the board meeting feel like I'm walking through a haze. Every morning, I wake up to the same weight pressing down on me, a suffocating reminder that everything has changed. I'm no longer just Lily Sinclair, the woman who spent her days as a photographer, chasing moments, chasing freedom. Now, I'm the CEO of a business I don't fully understand, running a corporation that belongs to a family that sees me as an outsider. I've been pretending that I have it all figured out, pretending that I'm confident that I belong at the head of the table. But deep down, I know the truth. I'm lost. I'm in over my head, and I can't keep pretending much longer. I stand in front of the office window, staring out at the skyline of the city. It's a beautiful view, one that Grandma used to admire, one she always said would remind her to stay grounded, no matter how high the business took her. But now it just feels like a reminder of everything I'm not sure I can handle. The weight of this business, the weight of the family, it's all too much. And I don't know how long I can keep carrying it. A knock at the door breaks my thoughts. I don't even need to look up to know who it is. I've been expecting it. "Lily!" Heather's voice is like a needle, sharp and pointed. I don't look at her, but I can feel her eyes on me, calculating, waiting for me to crack. "We need to talk." I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself, but my heart races in my chest. I nod, signaling for her to come in, though I don't move from my spot by the window. I know what this conversation is going to be. She's been circling, waiting for the right moment to strike, to remind me that I'm not fit for this job. "I've been talking to the board," Heather says, her tone low, almost smug. "They're not happy with the way things are going. You don't have a plan. You don't even know the first thing about running this company. They're starting to question whether you're really the right person for the job." Her words hit me harder than I want to admit. The board? They're questioning me. I should have expected this. I should have known that they would start doubting me. But hearing it out loud from Heather feels like a punch in the gut. I turn to face her, forcing myself to stand tall, but inside I feel like I'm sinking. "I'm doing the best I can," I say, my voice quieter than I want it to be. "I'm learning. I'm not pretending to know everything. But I'm trying." "Trying isn't good enough, Lily," Heather snaps. "You can't just try when you're in charge. You either have the skills or you don't. And right now, you don't. You're embarrassing yourself. And worse, you're embarrassing the family. You're making decisions without understanding the consequences, and the board is noticing." I feel a knot tighten in my stomach. I'm embarrassing the family. It's the one thing I've always been afraid of. I've always been the one who didn't quite fit in, who didn't live up to the expectations they had for me. And now, I'm proving their fears right. "You think I'm doing this to embarrass anyone?" I manage to say, my voice shaking despite my best efforts. "I'm doing the best I can. I never asked for this. But now that I'm here, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to let you or anyone else push me out." Heather's face twists with frustration. "You don't get it, do you? This isn't just about you and your little crusade. This is about the future of this company. This is about keeping our family legacy intact. And you're about to ruin it all because you're too proud to ask for help." I want to tell her that she's wrong, that I'm not too proud, that I'm just trying to figure this out. But the truth is, a part of me feels like she's right. A part of me feels like I've taken on something I can't handle, like I'm in too deep and there's no way out. "I'm not asking for help," I say, the words coming out in a rush. "I'm not asking for anyone to fix this for me. But I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to walk away just because you don't think I'm capable." Heather stares at me for a long moment, as if trying to figure out if I'm bluffing. Finally, she speaks again, her tone softer, almost pitying. "I don't know if you can handle this, Lily, but I do know one thing. If you keep going like this, if you keep making decisions without thinking them through, you're going to lose everything. And when you do, don't say I didn't warn you." With that, she turns and walks out, leaving me standing there, feeling smaller than ever before. The room feels even colder now, the weight of her words sinking into my chest. Am I really making a mistake? Am I really in over my head? I sit down at the desk, my hands trembling as I try to steady my breath. The room spins slightly, and for a moment, I feel like I'm about to collapse under the pressure. The responsibilities, the family, the business, it's all too much. I don't belong here, I think to myself, the thought almost too painful to bear. But the truth is, I don't know how to escape this. I don't know how to go back to the life I had before, the life I thought I wanted. I stare at the papers on my desk, contracts, proposals, financial statements, and for the first time, I truly feel the weight of it all. This is my reality now. There's no escaping it, no turning back. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this. I don't know if I can do it. But as I sit there, staring at the papers in front of me, I make a decision. I can't quit. I can't back down. I have to do this. For Grandma, for me, and maybe, just maybe, I can prove them wrong. The days after the board meeting feel like I'm walking through a haze. Every morning, I wake up to the same weight pressing down on me, a suffocating reminder that everything has changed. I'm no longer just Lily Sinclair, the woman who spent her days as a photographer, chasing moments, chasing freedom. Now, I'm the CEO of a business I don't fully understand, running a corporation that belongs to a family that sees me as an outsider. I've been pretending that I have it all figured out, pretending that I'm confident that I belong at the head of the table. But deep down, I know the truth. I'm lost. I'm in over my head, and I can't keep pretending much longer. I stand in front of the office window, staring out at the skyline of the city. It's a beautiful view, one that Grandma used to admire, one she always said would remind her to stay grounded, no matter how high the business took her. But now it just feels like a reminder of everything I'm not sure I can handle. The weight of this business, the weight of the family, it's all too much. And I don't know how long I can keep carrying it. A knock at the door breaks my thoughts. I don't even need to look up to know who it is. I've been expecting it. Lily! Heather's voice is like a needle, sharp and pointed. I don't look at her, but I can feel her eyes on me, calculating, waiting for me to crack. We need to talk. I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself, but my heart races in my chest. I nod, signaling for her to come in, though I don't move from my spot by the window. I know what this conversation is going to be. She's been circling, waiting for the right moment to strike, to remind me that I'm not fit for this job. I've been talking to the board, Heather says, her tone low, almost smug. They're not happy with the way things are going. You don't have a plan. You don't even know the first thing about running this company. They're starting to question whether you're really the right person for the job. Her words hit me harder than I want to admit. The board, they're questioning me. I should have expected this. I should have known that they would start doubting me. But hearing it out loud from Heather feels like a punch in the gut. I turn to face her, forcing myself to stand tall, but inside I feel like I'm sinking. I'm doing the best I can, I say, my voice quieter than I want it to be. I'm learning. I'm not pretending to know everything. But I'm trying. Trying isn't good enough, Lily, Heather snaps. You can't just try when you're in charge. You either have the skills or you don't. And right now, you don't. You're embarrassing yourself. And worse, you're embarrassing the family. You're making decisions without understanding the consequences, and the board is noticing. I feel a knot tighten in my stomach. I'm embarrassing the family. It's the one thing I've always been afraid of. I've always been the one who didn't quite fit in, who didn't live up to the expectations they had for me. And now, I'm proving their fears right. You think I'm doing this to embarrass anyone? I managed to say, my voice shaking despite my best efforts. I'm doing the best I can. I never asked for this. But now that I'm here, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to let you or anyone else push me out. Heather's face twists with frustration. You don't get it, do you? This isn't just about you and your little crusade. This is about the future of this company. This is about keeping our family legacy intact. And you're about to ruin it all because you're too proud to ask for help. I want to tell her that she's wrong, that I'm not too proud, that I'm just trying to figure this out. But the truth is, a part of me feels like she's right. A part of me feels like I've taken on something I can't handle, like I'm in too deep and there's no way out. I'm not asking for help, I say, the words coming out in a rush. I'm not asking for anyone to fix this for me, but I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to walk away just because you don't think I'm capable. Heather stares at me for a long moment, as if trying to figure out if I'm bluffing. Finally, she speaks again, her tone softer, almost pitying. I don't know if you can handle this, Lily, but I do know one thing. If you keep going like this, if you keep making decisions without thinking them through, you're going to lose everything. And when you do, don't say I didn't warn you. With that, she turns and walks out, leaving me standing there, feeling smaller than ever before. The room feels even colder now, the weight of her words sinking into my chest. Am I really making a mistake? Am I really in over my head? I sit down at the desk, my hands trembling as I try to steady my breath. The room spins slightly, and for a moment, I feel like I'm about to collapse under the pressure. The responsibilities, the family, the business, it's all too much. I don't belong here, I think to myself, the thought almost too painful to bear. But the truth is, I don't know how to escape this. I don't know how to go back to the life I had before, the life I thought I wanted. I stare at the papers on my desk, contracts, proposals, financial statements, and for the first time, I truly feel the weight of it all. This is my reality now. There's no escaping it, no turning back. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this. I don't know if I can do it. But as I sit there, staring at the papers in front of me, I make a decision. I can't quit. I can't back down. I have to do this. For Grandma. For me. And maybe, just maybe, I can prove them wrong. It's been a week since Heather's words echoed in my mind, and every minute since then has felt like I've been walking a tightrope. One wrong move, and I'm going to fall. The weight of the company, of my family's expectations, of the business I never asked for, is starting to suffocate me. I wake up every day with a pit in my stomach, already dreading the hours ahead, already bracing myself for the next crisis. The phone rings constantly now, meetings, calls, demands, and it feels like the whole world is trying to pull me in different directions. Every time I sit down at the desk, there's a new problem to solve, a new fire to put out. And the worst part is, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if I'm making the right decisions. Every choice I make seems to spiral into something bigger, something more complicated, something I can't control. I thought that when I took this on, I would find my place. I thought I'd step into my grandmother's shoes and feel a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. But all I feel now is lost. Like I'm just fumbling my way through, hoping that I won't destroy everything in the process. My reflection in the mirror stares back at me, but it's not me I see anymore. It's a woman who looks like she's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. The circles under my eyes are getting darker by the day, and I can't remember the last time I had a decent night's sleep. The stress is eating me alive. But I can't stop. I can't give up, not when there's so much at stake. I sit at my desk, staring at the latest set of reports. Numbers, figures, calculations that mean nothing to me but everything to them. The future of the business, of the family, depends on these numbers. But they're just numbers. I don't understand them. I don't know how to make sense of them. And with each passing day, the weight of that ignorance feels heavier and heavier. I pick up the phone, dialing the number of my accountant, hoping for answers I don't have. "Lily Sinclair," I say when the phone rings through. "I need a full breakdown of the company's financials. I can't keep putting this off." "Of course," the voice on the other end responds, though I can hear the underlying impatience in their tone. "But you know, the numbers are going to be tough to manage. Your grandmother didn't leave clear instructions on a lot of this. It's going to take time to clean up some of the mess." The mess? I don't want to hear that word. It feels like everything I've inherited is a mess, something too broken to fix, too far gone to salvage. I can already feel the panic rising in my chest, the tightening in my throat. "Just get it to me as soon as you can," I reply, trying to... "I don't have a choice," I snap, the words spilling out before I can stop them. "I don't have anyone else. You don't get it, Jason. I'm in charge now. I have to fix everything. I have to make sure this company doesn't fall apart. I don't have the luxury of sitting back and letting anyone else handle it. Jason steps closer, his eyes softening with a mixture of sympathy and frustration. You're not the only one in this family, Lily. We all have a stake in this. But you can't keep doing it by yourself. You're breaking down and you don't even see it. I'm not asking you to let go of the reins, but you need help. You need someone to lean on. I really look at him for the first time in weeks. And I see it, the concern, the care. He's trying to reach me. But I'm too far gone. I've already pushed everyone away. I've built up walls so high that even he can't climb over them. I don't know how to let anyone in anymore. I can't, I say, my voice breaking. I can't ask for help. If I do, everything will fall apart. I'm already too far in. If I stop now, I'll lose everything. And I can't lose Grandma's legacy. I can't let it all go to waste. Jason watches me quietly for a moment, and for the first time, I feel like he truly sees me, sees the weight I'm carrying, the cracks starting to show. And then he says something that hits me like a punch to the gut. You're not invincible, Lily, he says quietly. And you're not alone. But if you keep pushing us away, you're going to lose everything, including yourself. His words hang in the air, and for a moment, I don't know how to respond. The truth of it all stings. He's right. I've been so caught up in trying to prove that I'm capable, that I can handle it all on my own, that I've forgotten what it means to have people around me. To lean on the ones who care. The silence between us stretches, heavy and thick, until Jason sighs. I'm not going to push you, Lily, but I'm here, whenever you're ready. I nod, though I don't know if I believe it myself. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. But for the first time in days, I feel like there's a small sliver of hope, a tiny spark that maybe, just maybe, I don't have to do this alone. The days are starting to feel like a blur. The weight of each decision, each conversation is slowly crushing me. I can feel it in my bones now, the exhaustion, the relentless pressure. Every time I close my eyes, the numbers, the board meetings, the endless demands flood my mind, and for a few seconds I forget who I am. I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like I'm losing myself in all of this, and I don't know how to stop. I didn't think it would be like this. I didn't think running a business would be this. Suffocating. I always admired my grandmother for her strength, her ability to hold everything together with such grace. But now that I'm standing in her shoes, I realize it wasn't grace that held it all up. It was sheer force of will. And I'm not sure I have the strength for this. I'm not sure I'm built for this kind of battle. I've spent my whole life running from the very thing that's now consuming me. I wanted peace. I wanted simplicity. I wanted to create something meaningful without having to deal with the expectations of a family that saw me as the black sheep. But now, it feels like the very things I wanted to escape are the things I can't seem to outrun. The pressure is relentless. It's in the boardroom, it's in the phone calls, it's in the quiet moments when I'm alone with my thoughts. And I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending. Pretending that I know what I'm doing. Pretending that I have it under control. I glance at the clock. It's nearly midnight. Another late night at the office. My eyes sting from lack of sleep and I can feel the headache creeping in. But I can't stop. I can't stop now, not when everything is riding on me. The business, the family, the legacy, it all depends on the decisions I make in these moments. And yet, every decision feels wrong. Every choice feels like it's taking me further down a path I'm not sure I can return from. My phone buzzes on the desk, pulling me from my thoughts. It's a message from Jason. I almost don't open it. I know what it will say, another check-in, another reminder that I'm pushing everyone away, another plea for me to stop pretending I have everything under control. We need to talk soon. Don't keep ignoring me. I'm worried about you. I rub my temples, trying to push the headache away. I don't have time for this right now. I don't have time for anything that isn't directly related to the business. But then, something inside me breaks. Maybe it's the exhaustion. Maybe it's the weight of my own fear. But the truth is, I'm scared. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of everything slipping away. And I'm scared that the longer I keep going like this, the more I'm going to lose myself in the process. I stare at Jason's message for a long time, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. I know he's right. I know he's worried. I know he can see what I'm too afraid to admit. But I can't let him in. I can't let anyone in. If I do, they'll see how much I'm struggling. They'll see how much I'm falling apart. And I can't let anyone see that. Not now. Not when everything is hanging by a thread. But then, as I sit there in the silence of my office, something shifts. I don't know if it's the tiredness or the weight of my own thoughts, but something cracks inside me. I'm not okay. I'm not fine. I'm not the strong, confident woman I keep pretending to be. I'm just me, and maybe that's enough. Maybe it's time to stop pretending that I have all the answers. Maybe it's time to ask for help. I reach for my phone, hesitating for a moment before I type out a message to Jason. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. Can we talk? I hit send before I can second-guess myself. The words feel like a weight lifted from my chest, but at the same time, it feels like I've opened a door I can't close. It's terrifying. Letting someone see the cracks in my armor is terrifying, but it's also a relief. A small, quiet relief. The phone buzzes almost immediately. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I put the phone down and lean back in my chair, closing my eyes. The quiet of the office surrounds me, but it's not peaceful. It's the kind of silence that only happens when you're trying to ignore everything that's going on inside your head. But now I'm no longer pretending. I'm letting myself feel the weight of everything, and it's okay to feel it. 20 minutes later, the door opens and Jason steps inside, his face soft with concern. He doesn't say anything at first. He just walks over to the chair across from me and sits down, waiting for me to speak. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, I say, my voice small, fragile. Every day, it feels like I'm losing a little more of myself, like I'm becoming someone I don't even recognize. I'm so scared, Jason. Scared that I'm not enough for this, that I'm not enough for this family, that I'm not enough for the company. Jason doesn't say anything at first. He just looks at me, and for the first time in weeks, I see the warmth in his eyes again. The warmth that I've been pushing away for so long. You don't have to do this alone, Lily, he says softly, his voice steady, like he's trying to ground me. I'm here, I'll always be here, but you've got to let people help you. You've got to let us in. I want to say that I don't need anyone. I want to say that I can do this on my own. But I can't. The truth is, I can't. I can't keep pretending to be invincible when I'm crumbling inside. I can't keep pushing people away when they're the only ones who can help me see the way out of this. I'm sorry, I whisper, my voice breaking. I'm so sorry. Jason stands up and walks over to my side, placing a hand on my shoulder. You don't have to apologize. You're human, Lily, and it's okay to need help. I close my eyes, letting the tears come finally. They're long overdue. The tears I've been holding back for too long, and as they fall, I realize something. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning of letting go of the perfect image I've tried to hold up. The beginning of accepting that it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not be perfect. I don't know what comes next. I don't know how I'm going to fix everything. But for the first time in a long time, I don't feel so alone. It's been a few days since I let myself break down in front of Jason. A few days since I finally admitted to someone just how far I've fallen. I won't lie to myself. Those days haven't been easy. I've had to wrestle with my own pride, with the shame of showing weakness. But something inside me has shifted. The ground I'm standing on feels a little firmer now. Maybe it's because I finally asked for help. Maybe it's because, for the first time, I'm not hiding behind the armor I've built around myself. The business is still in shambles. The board is still restless. The financials are a mess. But it's different now. I'm not handling it all alone anymore. Jason's been there, helping me sift through the chaos, reminding me that I don't have to carry this weight by myself. He's been the one to keep me grounded when I felt like I was losing myself again. And for that, I'm grateful. More than I can put into words. It's strange, though, feeling like I can't do it all on my own. I've spent so much of my life thinking that asking for help was a weakness. That leaning on others meant I wasn't strong enough to stand on my own. But now, as I sit here at my desk, looking at the list of calls I have to make, the meetings I have to attend, the decisions I still have to make, I realize something. I need other people. I need them more than I've ever been willing to admit, because I can't do this alone. I can't fix everything by myself, and maybe that's okay. Maybe it's time to let go of the need to be perfect, to be the person everyone expects me to be. I don't have to carry the entire burden. I can share it, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be a better leader for it. I take a deep breath, reaching for the phone. My hands still shake a little as I dial the number for the CFO. The financials have been a nightmare, and every conversation I've had about them has felt like a punch to the gut. But it's time to face it. It's time to start making the hard calls. Hello, Mr. Carter. It's Lily Sinclair. I'd like to go over the projections and see where we stand on the budget for next quarter. The conversation goes smoothly, much more smoothly than I anticipated. For once, I feel like I'm actually in control of the situation, like the weight of the responsibility is manageable, not suffocating. And maybe it's because I've finally let myself be real. I've let go of the fear that asking for help makes me weak, and instead, I've started asking the right questions. Later that afternoon, I'm sitting in a meeting with the board of directors. There's a quiet hum in the room, a sort of tension that hangs in the air, but it's different this time. It's not a stifling, oppressive tension. It's the kind of tension that comes when people are waiting to see if you're really ready to step up, if you've learned what it takes to lead. I take a deep breath as I stand at the head of the table. I can feel my pulse quickening, the familiar nerves creeping up in my chest, but I push them down. I know what I have to say. I know these past few months have been difficult. I begin, my voice steady, though it's still laced with a hint of vulnerability. I know I've made mistakes. I've been trying to figure things out on my own, and I've been overwhelmed. But I've realized something in all of this. I don't have to do this alone. I don't have to have all the answers, and I'm not afraid to ask for help anymore. The room is quiet for a moment, and then, slowly, the tension begins to ease. One of the board members, Mr. Hall, leans forward, his expression softening. Lily, we've all been watching you, he says, his voice steady. And we know it hasn't been easy, but you've made the right decision. Asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a strength. And I think we're all ready to support you, however you need. I feel a wave of relief wash over me. It's not the validation I've been seeking, not the approval I've always thought I needed to feel like I was worthy. It's something else. It's the feeling that maybe I'm starting to get it. Starting to see what it means to be a leader, not just by how much I can carry, but by how much I'm willing to share. As the meeting continues, I start to feel the first stirrings of confidence, real confidence, not the kind that comes from pretending everything is fine. This is different. This feels more real, more grounded. I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not anymore. I'm just me, and that's enough. After the meeting, I head back to my office, feeling lighter than I have in weeks. I sit down at my desk and take a moment to breathe. The weight is still there, but it's different now. I can breathe through it. I can handle it one step at a time. Jason texts me a few hours later, a simple message. How did it go? I smile as I type back. It went well. I'm starting to figure things out. For the first time in a long time, I feel a spark of hope. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can take my place at the head of this company, not because I'm perfect, but because I'm willing to learn. Because I'm not afraid to ask for help. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. It's been a few weeks since I finally allowed myself to admit that I couldn't do it all on my own. The shift is subtle but undeniable. The anxiety that once gripped me every morning, the dread of facing the day, has started to ease. It's not gone completely, but it's manageable now. And for the first time in a long time, I feel a sense of clarity. a sense that I'm moving in the right direction. The business still isn't where I want it to be, but we're making progress. Slowly, but surely. The board has started to trust me more. They can see that I'm not just some naive outsider who inherited her way to the top. They can see that I'm willing to put in the work, to ask the right questions, and most importantly, to listen. I'm learning. Every day I'm learning. But even as the clouds begin to part, new challenges are starting to emerge. I thought the biggest battle would be with my own doubts, with the constant self-questioning that kept me up at night. But now, I realize that the real challenge isn't just about my ability to lead. It's about the people I have to lead. It's about the choices I make that will affect everyone around me. It's about the weight of the decisions I've been avoiding. I sit at my desk, staring at the latest set of reports. It's been a quiet afternoon, at least on the surface. The office is emptying out for the day, and I can feel the weight of the room's stillness. But inside, I'm anything but still. I've been avoiding this meeting for weeks, but it's time to face it. A meeting with the board. This time, it's not just about reviewing projections or discussing the company's quarterly earnings. This time, it's about something bigger. A major acquisition we've been looking into for months. A deal that could change everything. The pressure is mounting, and I can feel the weight of the decision sitting heavy in my chest. I close my eyes for a moment, trying to focus. The truth is, I'm torn. The acquisition could be exactly what we need to take the company to the next level, to establish ourselves as leaders in the market. But there's a part of me, the part that still remembers the values Grandma instilled in me, that is hesitant. The company we're looking to acquire isn't just any business. It's a competitor we've had a rocky relationship with over the years. A company that isn't exactly known for ethical practices. I glance at the financials again. The numbers don't lie. The deal would make us stronger financially. It could secure the future of the business for years to come. But at what cost? Is this really the path I want to take? I've asked myself that question 100 times, and each time I get the same answer. I don't know. The knock on the door pulls me from my thoughts. "It's time," Jason says quietly, stepping into the room. He doesn't have to say anything else. He knows exactly what's on my mind. He knows this is the meeting I've been avoiding. He knows this is the moment that could define my leadership, my entire future. I get up slowly, walking to the door. I'm not ready. I'm never going to be ready. But it's happening. I can't put it off anymore. Jason gives me a supportive smile as we head down the hallway to the conference room. My heart is racing. The door opens, and I step inside. The boardroom feels colder today, the tension in the air thicker. The members are already seated, their eyes turning toward me as I take my place at the head of the table. I can feel the weight of their expectations pressing down on me. I've been in this room before, but today, it feels different. The stakes are higher now. This isn't just a discussion. This is the moment where everything could change. The meeting begins, and I let the conversation flow. We review the financials, we talk about projections, we discuss the numbers. But as we get closer to the decision, I can feel the room shifting. The questions start coming faster, sharper. "Lily, do you honestly believe this acquisition is the right move for the future of Sinclair Corp?" Mr. Hall asks, his voice steady but laced with skepticism. I swallow hard, my throat dry. Do I believe this is the right move? The question is so simple, but the answer is anything but. "I think it's a risk," I say, my voice steady despite the churn in my stomach. "But I believe it's a risk we have to take if we want to stay competitive in the market." Jason glances at me from across the table, his eyes giving me a small, reassuring nod. I breathe in deeply. I can't let them see how torn I feel. I can't let them see that I'm still questioning myself. "I understand the risks," I continue, my voice stronger now. "But I also believe that sometimes we have to take calculated risks to move forward. This acquisition could be the catalyst we need to push us ahead of the competition." There's a long pause. The board members exchange glances, and I can feel their judgment, their uncertainty weighing on me. I'm not sure if I've convinced them. I'm not sure if I've convinced myself. Finally, Aunt Sarah speaks up. Lily, you're young. You're doing your best, but this is a huge decision. You're talking about merging with a company that's been known for its questionable ethics. You're not just playing with numbers here. You're playing with people's lives. We can't afford to make a mistake. I feel a knot twist in my stomach. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about the kind of company I want to run. It's about the values I want to uphold. I know what I'm doing, Aunt Sarah, I say, my voice tight, though the words feel like they're slipping out of my control. I'm not blind to the ethics of this deal, but I believe that if we take the right approach, if we guide them in the right direction, we can make a difference. We don't have to sacrifice our values for success. The room is quiet again. I can feel the eyes of the board members on me, searching for any sign of doubt, any crack in my resolve. But I can't give them that. I can't show them my uncertainty. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Mr. Hall speaks again. We'll give you our decision after further review. But you're right, Lily. This is a risk, and it's one we'll have to take seriously. I nod, my heart still racing, the weight of the decision still heavy in my chest. The meeting wraps up, and I leave the room feeling like I've just taken my first real step into this role. The path is still uncertain. The future is still unclear. But for the first time, I feel like I'm making my own decisions. I'm not just following in someone else's footsteps. I'm carving out my own way. I'm not sure if this acquisition will be the right move. I'm not sure if I'm ready for the consequences of it. But I know one thing. I'm no longer afraid to take the risks. I'm no longer afraid to make the hard choices. And maybe that's enough for now. The days following the board meeting feel like a slow-motion blur. I'm still reeling from the weight of the decision I've made. The acquisition, the one I thought would be the solution, the answer to all our problems, is now looming over me like a storm cloud, and I can't shake the feeling that the thunder is getting louder. I keep thinking back to Aunt Sarah's words. You're playing with people's lives. She wasn't wrong. I'm not just playing with numbers. I'm not just making decisions that affect the company's bottom line. This deal has the potential to affect real people, employees, families, the very community we're supposed to be serving. And I don't know if I can justify it to myself, let alone to them. But it's too late to turn back now. The paperwork is being signed, the legal teams are preparing everything for the merger, and there's no going back. The decision has been made, and every part of me wants to scream and run in the opposite direction. But I can't. I've come this far, and there's no turning back. I stand in front of the large conference room window, watching as the rain begins to fall outside, blurring the city lights into a wash of gold and silver. The reflection in the glass feels distant, foreign. It's like I'm looking at someone else's life, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who isn't paralyzed by fear. But that person isn't me. I'm the one standing here, doubting every step, questioning every move. There's a knock at the door, and Jason steps inside, his face as serious as I've ever seen it. You look like you're carrying the weight of the world again, he says, stepping closer. I can't help the bitter laugh that escapes me. It's funny how it feels that way. I thought when I made this decision I'd feel a sense of relief, like I'd have the answers. But all I feel is the pressure, more than ever. Jason walks up to the window beside me, his presence grounding in a way that only he can. You know it's not too late to back out, right? I turn to him, surprised by the words. What do you mean? I mean, you've been fighting with yourself over this deal. If you don't feel right about it, if it's going against everything you stand for, then you don't have to follow through. It's your decision. I stare at him, feeling something shift in me. His words are simple, but they land like a punch. I've been so focused on proving to everyone that I'm capable of making this work that I forgot about the one person whose opinion matters most in all of this, me. It's easy to get lost in the noise, to think that making the big decision is what will make me worthy of this position. But the truth is, I've been compromising my values, my instincts, just to keep up. And in doing so, I've let the pressure of others' expectations drown out my own voice. I walk to my desk, running my hands over the pile of documents, the plans, the contracts. Everything feels overwhelming, like too many pieces of a puzzle I can't fit together. Jason, what if I'm wrong? The question slips out before I can stop it. What if I made the wrong choice and everything I've been doing, everything I've been pushing for, is going to end in disaster? Jason takes a step toward me, his expression softening. You don't know that, and you can't know until you try, but you have to live with the decision. And if it doesn't feel right anymore, then you owe it to yourself to walk away. I look at him, feeling something break loose inside me. It's terrifying, but there's a small flicker of hope in his words. Maybe I don't have to carry this burden alone. Maybe I don't have to sacrifice my own beliefs just to get ahead. Do you really think I can back out? I ask quietly. Jason's eyes meet mine, and for the first time in weeks, I see him as the person I can rely on, the person who truly understands the fight I'm in. You've got more strength than you realize, Lily. You don't have to sacrifice yourself to make this work. Trust your gut. Trust your heart. The right decision will come. I don't have all the answers. Hell, I don't even know if I have the strength to undo what I've already set in motion. But for the first time, I allow myself to feel a tiny bit of relief. The weight on my chest isn't as heavy as it was before. Maybe I'm not so alone in this after all. The next day, I sit down with the legal team, my mind still swirling with doubt, but also with a new resolve. The decision has been made. The contract is nearly finalized. But that doesn't mean I have to live with it if it doesn't feel right. I need a full review of the terms, I tell the team, looking up from the papers. I need to be absolutely sure this is what's best for Sinclair Corp. And for the people who work here. If we've missed something, if there's awry. The lead counsel looks at me, surprised by the sudden shift in my tone, but he nods. Understood, Lily. We'll conduct a full audit and let you know what we find. I can't help but feel a tiny bit lighter as they leave the room. It's a small step, but it's mine. I'm taking it, and I'm no longer afraid to question myself. The hours stretch on, but for the first time, I'm not rushing to make decisions for the sake of doing. I'm taking the time to listen, to weigh the consequences of what we're about to do. And if I have to walk away from this deal, if I have to sacrifice the future I thought I wanted, then so be it. At least I'll know I did it on my own terms. I glance down at the papers in front of me, seeing them for the first time not as a set of decisions I have to make, but as a responsibility I'm willing to accept, not because it's expected of me, but because I believe in it. For the first time in a long while, I feel like I'm starting to understand what it means to lead, not with fear, not with doubt, but with clarity, integrity, and the courage to face the consequences. The days after I've decided to pause the acquisition feel like a breath of fresh air, though it's a fragile one. For the first time in weeks, I'm not consumed by the weight of the merger. I'm not trying to force a decision just for the sake of moving forward. It's unsettling, though. The silence that comes with taking a step back feels almost like the calm before a storm. The anticipation of what's to come makes it hard to relax, but for once, I'm not running. I'm standing still, waiting for clarity to emerge on its own. The board isn't happy with my decision to pause. I can feel their judgment when I walk into the room. Their eyes are sharp, scrutinizing every move I make, as if they're waiting for me to slip. Heather, of course, is at the forefront of the resistance. She believes in the deal, believes in the money it would bring, the power it would give us. She doesn't understand my hesitation. She doesn't understand that this isn't just about the bottom line. For me, it never has been. Lily, Heather says one afternoon, her voice just above a whisper, sharp and insistent. You've already made your choice. You've already decided this deal is what's best for us. Why are you hesitating now? I don't answer immediately. I don't even look at her. The truth is, I'm not entirely sure why I've hesitated. Maybe it's the gut feeling that I'm making a mistake. Maybe it's the doubt that's been growing inside me since the day I first heard about the acquisition. But there's something else. A quiet voice inside me that's telling me to stop, to reconsider, before I make a decision I can't take back. I'm not hesitating, Heather, I say finally, my voice steady. I'm just making sure I'm doing the right thing. For the business, for the employees, for the future of this company. If we're going to make this move, it has to be the right one. We can't afford to be hasty. Heather scoffs, clearly unimpressed. You're dragging this out and it's costing us time. Time we can't afford to waste. The longer we wait, the more opportunities we lose. People are watching. The board is watching. The market is watching. I feel the pressure build again, just as it always does when I'm confronted with her words. But this time, I'm not going to let it break me. I'm not going to let her rush me into something I'm not sure about. Not again. I'm not rushing into anything, I reply, meeting her eyes. The deal will still be there when we're ready, but I have to be sure. We all need to be sure. I can feel the tension between us, thick and tangible. She doesn't like my decision. She doesn't like that I've stepped back and questioned everything. But this isn't her decision. This is mine. The meeting continues, and as we go through the usual business updates, my mind keeps returning to the acquisition. I look at the documents, the numbers, the projections. I can see it all clearly now. There's potential. There's a chance to expand, to increase profits, to solidify our position in the market. But there's something missing. Something I can't ignore. Something that makes me uneasy every time I think about it. Later that afternoon, as the office begins to empty out for the day, I find myself standing in front of the window again. The city below is bathed in golden light, the streets buzzing with life. I can hear the faint hum of traffic, but the noise seems distant, muffled by the thoughts swirling inside my head. The pressure is still there, relentless and heavy. But now there's a new clarity. I can hear Grandma's voice in my mind, clear and strong, just like it was when she was still here. You see people for who they are, not what they can give you. Her words come back to me now, with more meaning than ever. This decision isn't just about the money or the acquisition or the power it could bring us. It's about integrity. It's about the kind of company I want to lead and the values I want to uphold. And I can't compromise on that. I turn away from the window, walking back to my desk. My fingers hover over the phone, but I hesitate for a moment before I make the call. This is it. The decision I've been putting off for too long. I dial the number for the legal team, my hands trembling slightly. I take a deep breath before speaking. I've thought about it, I say, my voice clear and unwavering. I'm not moving forward with the acquisition. Not yet. We need to reassess and make sure this is the right move for us, ethically, financially, and for the future of the company. There's a long pause on the other end. Understood, Lily, the lawyer responds, their tone neutral. We'll halt all preparations and schedule a review. I hang up the phone, feeling the weight lift off my chest. It's not over yet. The decision to pull back is going to have consequences, and I know that. I'll have to answer to the board, to Heather, to the people who want this deal to go through. But I'm prepared for that. I've made my choice, and I'm standing firm. Later that evening, Jason texts me again, as he has been for the past few days, checking in to see how I'm doing. His simple message is a comfort, a reminder that I don't have to face all of this alone. I smile as I type back. I did it. I pulled the plug on the deal. Now we take a step back and think it through. His reply comes almost instantly. I'm proud of you. You're doing the right thing. Whatever comes next, I'm here. The words hit me harder than I expect. I'm here. It's not just about him being there for me in the moment. It's about knowing that I don't have to fight this battle alone anymore. That, maybe, with the right people by my side, I can navigate this storm without losing myself in it. As I sit back in my chair, I feel the exhaustion settling in. But for the first time in a long time, I also feel a sense of peace. I've made the choice, the hard choice, and now I have to live with it. But for once, I don't feel burdened by it. I feel like I've finally found my footing. The storm isn't over yet, but maybe, just maybe, I've learned how to weather it. The following days are a whirlwind of meetings, calls, and discussions. The decision to pull back from the acquisition has stirred up a storm within the company. The board isn't pleased, and neither is Heather. She doesn't understand why I couldn't just push through. She's been vocal about her frustration, and the tension between us is palpable. But I stand firm. I know I made the right choice. I can feel it in my bones. In the midst of all the chaos, something unexpected happens. I'm called into a meeting with some of the senior managers. There's a moment of hesitation when I walk into the room, wondering what they think of my leadership after the bold decision I've made. The air is thick with uncertainty, but then one of the managers, a woman I've always admired for her honesty, speaks up. "Lily," she begins, her voice calm but direct. "I just want to say I respect what you did. It took guts to make that call. The company has been through a lot of changes recently, and I think we all needed to see that kind of leadership." Her words catch me off guard. I don't know what I was expecting, maybe resistance, maybe disappointment. But hearing someone in the company recognize my decision, acknowledging the weight of it, fills me with a sense of validation I didn't realize I needed. The others in the room nod in agreement, their eyes reflecting the same sentiment. And for the first time in weeks, I feel a sense of quiet pride wash over me. Maybe I am starting to find my footing. Maybe I'm beginning to earn the respect I've always feared I wouldn't deserve. The days pass, and things slowly begin to settle down. The board is still cautious, but they're listening. The employees are still wary, but they're watching, waiting to see if the decision was the right one. And I'm still uncertain, still questioning every move I make. But with each passing day, I begin to feel more confident in my choices. I'm learning to trust myself. Then one afternoon, as I'm reviewing the latest reports and emails, I get a text from Jason. It's short, but the weight behind it makes my heart skip a beat. I've been thinking about everything. "I'm proud of you, Lily. You've shown that leadership isn't about being right all the time. It's about doing what's best for the people and the business. Whatever happens, you've got this." His words hit me harder than I expect. He's right. Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about making the tough calls, standing firm in your beliefs, and knowing that sometimes the hardest decision is the one that doesn't make the most sense on paper,